So Rex Ryan may rejoin the New York Jets this coming offseason. Rex was a coach from the Jets in 2009 to 2014. The last time they actually made the playoffs was when Rex was the coach for the Jets, back to back AFC Championship appearances. So I feel like he still has some kind of clout within the organization and kind of has not necessarily pull, but I feel like he just has at least some credibility. And who knows, Woody Johnson's a pretty cuckoo guy. I feel like it's in the realm of possibilities, even though Rex Ryan hasn't been a head coach for a hot minute. The last time he was a head coach, it was for the Buffalo Bills and didn't really turn out the best. But when he was the coach of the Jets, he posted a 46-60 record. Definitely fell off there the last 3 years. He was the coach, but the last time the Jets made the playoffs, he was the coach. So he knows how to win with the New York Jets, and I feel like that in itself is a pretty impressive thing to put on one's resume. He was interviewed recently and he had this to say: I'd do it in a second because I am a New York Jet. I absolutely would, but I'm not here to politic. And it seems like it because I tell the damn truth and I speak as a fan of this football team and this community. So that's why it makes sense. So yeah, we'll see. Now, that could be just him being desperate to get back into the NFL. We'll see. I'll tell you what though, man. Rex Ryan is a pretty entertaining guy, and yeah, he is a no BS type of guy. Obviously, some very famous clips of him on Hard Knocks and lots of sound bites and whatnot. I think he's definitely a good character for the NFL. Is he a great head coach? Not sure about that one. I know he's a great defensive coordinator, but it's just like my only caveat to this is, yeah, it's fun, yeah, it's entertaining, and yeah, it would fit the Jets' kind of way they do business in recent memory of just doing weird, bizarre, desperational moves. But it's just like redundant in the way of you just had a defensive coordinator come in, Robert Saleh, and it didn't really work out great. Yeah, he posted kind of almost average 500 records with below average QB play in the last couple of seasons, but I just don't know how much better of a head coach he can be compared to Robert Saleh. So I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll definitely see in the offseason, and I feel like he might get an interview with the Jets again just because of Woody Johnson, but we'll have to find out. Who knows what will happen? Let me know if you think Rex Ryan should return to the NFL, and would you like to see him return to the New York Jets? It would be a very WWE type move for sure, just pure entertainment, but we'll have to see, man. I really think the Jets are going to go and just pay a ton of money to a young offensive coordinator like Ben Johnson or someone of that nature. Maybe Cliff Kingsbury. Funny enough, he actually interviewed for the Jets when he was available right before he signed with the Cardinals, but he chose Kyler and the Cardinals over the Jets. I just feel like they're going to throw a ton of money at some offensive guy, and I think they should. I think the days of hiring defensive coordinators are kind of becoming extinct. I know Dan Quinn is having a lot of success right now, but I'm telling you, a lot of that success is attributed to Jaden Daniels and Cliff Kingsbury. And I don't know how good Jaden looks without Cliff Kingsbury. That's going to be very interesting to see once that happens, because Cliff is probably going to get a head coaching gig next year. We'll see. Who knows? He could stay around if he just has a great relationship with Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels and he really thinks they could do something special in Washington. I would love to see Cliff stick around for one more year at least after this year. But I don't know, man. I just have a funny feeling he's going to get a lot of interest as being a head coach again. You know, he had a pretty good track record with the Cardinals. Last 2, 3 years there kind of fell off, but I think he's a pretty decent head coach, and I'm sure he learned a lot from his time in Arizona, so I think he'll even be a better head coach when he gets his next job. But yeah, that's kind of my prediction for the Jets. Just they're going to throw a ton of money at an offensive-minded guy, which isn't a bad move. I feel like that's definitely a lot better than Rex Ryan. But speaking of the Jets and their current situation, they're currently 2-6. They're playing the Houston Texans tonight, and strangely, oddly, they're favored to win again. They're favored to win tonight against the Texans. I know the Texans are banged up. No Nico, Stephon Diggs out for the year, but short week, Thursday Night Football. But it's just crazy how they're favored over the Texans. I don't get it at all. And Aaron Rodgers was recently interviewed, just kind of like a mid-season question of, where do you go from here, Aaron? Do you think this team can still make the playoffs? And he replied, there's a lot of football left. And I just thought that was a really interesting quote because there's really not. There's really not. We're halfway done the year, and essentially for the Jets to make the playoffs, they really got to go essentially undefeated for the remainder of the season. Do you think the Jets are capable of doing that? Do you think Aaron Rodgers is capable of having that high level of play just come back to him on a dime? I'd probably say no. Who knows, man? Maybe it'll start tonight. Maybe they'll get a crazy win at home against the Houston Texans. It's possible. You know, it's the NFL. It's life. Anything could happen. Any given Sunday, man. So yeah, man, let me know who you think the Jets should hire in the 2025 offseason for their head coaching vacancy. Do you think it should be Rex Ryan? Do you think it should be Cliff Kingsbury? Do you think it should be an offensive-minded guy? Or do you think they should bring back their interim head coach, Jeff Ulbrich? Let me know in the comments. And do you think the Jets are capable of going on a undefeated run essentially for the rest of the regular season to maybe sneak into the playoffs? Let me know. I really feel like there maybe be just a handful of Jets fans that would honestly believe that, and I would hope all of them are under the age of 12, because that's just, you have to be pretty unique to believe that is possible. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, it's just crazy to me how Greg Zuerlein is still employed by the Jets. There's been so many scapegoats. Like, of course, Saleh, Mike Williams, you know, the media, all according to Aaron Rodgers. But the fact that, like, he hasn't called out Greg Zuerlein and he still has a job, and the fact that NFL teams go through kickers like it's nothing, and it's just like a revolving door for kickers in the NFL. They just swap teams every single week, it feels like. The fact that he still has a job is just nuts to me. Like, look at the Packers. Brandon McManus was pretty much outed in the league because off the field shenanigans, and back-to-back weeks he's like the hero in Green Bay. Back-to-back game-winning field goal kicks, and that dude's a hell of a kicker. Super Bowl champion. And I really feel like he's going to be a solid kicker in Green Bay for a minute. And I'm sure he'll have some playoff heroics as well. You could quote me on that. But yeah, man, regardless, let me know what y'all think. Should be a good game tonight. Should be entertaining. I hope so. I'm crossing my fingers. And if you made this far, please subscribe. Help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
He's going to try and return this punt. And gains maybe 4. The Bears bring their offense onto the field. The last time they had control of the football, they did not come away empty-handed, but did not get a touchdown either.
Well, they got that field goal, and I think that's important. That field goal gave them a little confidence. They got some points up there that always makes you feel good on the offensive side. Now take advantage of that good feeling. Go out there and score a touchdown this time.
Let's see if they can finish off a drive.
Got to give the defense some credit on first down. There's so many things the offense can do. They were ready for that play, and they stopped it.
We've reached the intermission, and soon we'll be sending you to Larry Ridley, who's going to break down all the first half highlights as we send it to Orlando in a moment. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. That return's good for about 25. The Broncos talk things over at the intermission, and I'm sure one of the first orders of business was to try to figure out a way to get this offense going, Phil.
Absolutely. That's what you want to do, and I think you do that by play call. So the coach, they have many plays that we
On his way. And he's in for the touchdown. What a play. What a run. Whatever.